You know what? Actually, let's dwell on that for a moment. What happened in Syria?
Well, we backed a lot of what I will call moderate Islamic extremists, and we provided them a bunch of weapons. And it turns out that those folks weren't exactly moderate. And it turns out that we weren't able to track those weapons either. So those weapons are ending up in black markets around the world. We're also seeing that, by the way, in Kabul. I don't know if you recall, a few months ago, we retreated from Afghanistan. And so a bunch of that weaponry either ended up, of course, creating the new military for the Taliban, both its army and its air force, or those weapons are being sold in markets in Kabul or to people in Pakistan. So it's a big issue. We are going to see this in not just Ukraine. It's going to spread into Europe. These weapons are going into Europe, Eastern Europe in particular, and it's going to fuel a whole bunch of conflicts around the world. And we are not wrestling or even acknowledging that reality.
No, I'm excited. I went to work today to be the biggest arms dealer in the world. That definitely makes me feel good. Now, Bryan, let's move on to something a little bit different here. Joe Biden, he's not doing well. Everyone knows he's not doing well. This Biden administration is now talking about student loan forgiveness, and you're going to have to forgive me if I don't see that as a political ploy.
Look, the average student loan is at $37,000 right now. It's a lot of money. There are about 40 million people is taking part of these programs. What the Joe Biden administration wants to do at first is the deferrals, which we've seen, but they're not talking about cancellation. All right, so this is a big deal, over $1 trillion worth of money that would be forgiven. But what I don't hear, and I don't think anybody has heard this president or frankly anybody on the left talk about, is that we already have a student loan forgiveness program, and that is joining the United States military, the Army, and sorry, I know you don't want people to join the Army, God bless them, but nevertheless, $60,000, you can get your loans forgiven up to that amount, where you have that same number in the Navy, the Coast Guard, bless their hearts, you can get some of your loans forgiven that way. The point is, we don't ask people, nor do we have a national conversation about actually being of service to your country, right? We've heard this, at least in years gone by, but we don't so much anymore. It's just give me, right? So we've lost that Jack Kennedy spirit of asking not what my country can do for me, but what I can do for my country. And that's the conversation that I wish we would be having. That's what I talk about in the podcast, because I think most Americans understand, look, we shouldn't be giving away all of this stuff to various students. Students should be giving back to their country, and then we'll talk about it.
The podcast is the President's Daily Brief. You can download it at any place you get your podcast. Thank you, Bryan.